We'll be fine.
All right. Hey, we'll keep going. So, it's draft night, by the way.
Yeah. So I didn't know that.
Of course you wouldn't know that. No, it's sports. You should know that. Normally you know everything that's going on with sports. Not if there was an F5 tornado that passed through your town but your house didn't get hit, you wouldn't know about it.
Katie sent me something today and she's like, "Oh yeah, like do you know whatever this is that she mentioned?" And I was like, "No, what's that?" She's like, "Well, it's like it's like a newsletter of like just news of the day." I was like, "I could stop you right there. I don't follow anything that's news."
My buddies are coming down from the city. A couple that live around me are coming over. We always do something for the draft, so I got like 5 or 6 dudes coming over to hang out.
It's not in Philly again, is it?
What's that?
It's not in Philly, is it?
No. It's in Nashville. Eat some pizza, drink some beer.
Oh, is that what Adam's doing?
I would assume so. He is in Nashville. I don't know. That was my guess.
Oh, okay.
But they're pushing it back till 8. So, we're Eagles fans and such. They're not even going to draft till basically after midnight, which is so stupid. Like, why would just start it at 7? I don't know why. Last year, I believe it started at 7. So you had normal people that want to actually watch the whole thing, like yourself. You're not staying up till on the East Coast till 1 a.m. to see who, the Patriots pick.
No, that much I can guarantee you. I will not be staying up till 1 a.m. to see who the Patriots take.
It's pretty dumb. All right. Well, anyway.
Are the Cardinals going to take a quarterback for the second straight year? Is that like the thing that's happening, I guess?
Who?
The Cardinals?
Yeah. I mean, that is right now what we're assuming to happen. But who knows? They might find a way to screw it up. I don't know. 8 p.m. It'll be fun. We'll talk about it on Awesemo Radio, by the way, Sirius XM Fantasy, Sirius 210 XM 87. Fine, fun, fantastic show that I'd highly recommend you to check out. It is Saturdays and Sundays, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We won't be on this Saturday, though, because we have a ton of draft coverage going on, but we'll be on Sunday and any other Saturday, Sunday, 3 to 5 p.m. Eastern Time. That's Awesemo Radio. So check it out, especially for those of you that like talking football during the off season, because I certainly do. But now, Josh, it's time to talk baseball. Let's jump into it. Philadelphia, Miami, the Phillies hosting the Marlins, and you've got Aaron Nola on the bump against Caleb Smith. Look, this is a good pitching duel, no question. And one of these guys in Aaron Nola had really struggled in 3 starts, was pretty good in his first one, and then last one was very much a mixed bag. Beginning was awful, and then he really locked it down at Coors. And I mentioned to you on the strategy show this morning, the curveball finally got the swings and misses that he needed. He ended up with 9 strikeouts and 5 2/3 innings. So here we have it, man. Aaron Nola on DraftKings and FanDuel is wildly underpriced and probably right around where he should be. Maybe a bit overpriced on Yahoo, but probably pretty accurate.
Yeah, things have changed throughout the day now. I actually have Nola ahead of Cole on FanDuel on a dollar for dollar basis, at least. They are really neck and neck on DraftKings. Just the lines have moved correctly. The changes in individual lineups have changed a lot. So as of right now, I'm even heavier on Nola than I was when we did this show, however many hours ago that was.
You're higher on him now?
I am. I mean, like, marginally speaking.
Well, I only say that because I didn't know you could get higher on Nola than you already were this morning.
That's fair. I mean, it's just like, if his percentage was 4 before,
of course, yeah.
4.1.
Right. And I guess exposure was 89. Now it's 94 or something.
That would not shock me if that's the case. I won't run another crunch until like 6:30.
So I don't really know how you don't play him. I mean, in cash specifically, you pretty much have to play him in cash.
Yeah, he's number 1 with a bullet in cash.
And a 3.1 total for Miami. So, I mean, Vegas still has this as a spot where Aaron Nola isn't terrible.
Yeah. It's just, I don't know what else you do. He's priced like he's not Aaron Nola, and he's got a matchup against a team that isn't really a Major League Baseball team. So
Right. What about the other side with Caleb Smith?
Oh, Caleb Smith. Like, to me, he's still the second best pay down option behind Rick Porcello. And we're probably not going to go down that rabbit hole right now, but I like Caleb Smith a lot. The fact that he's 23% owned on DK is a little scary, but I don't know what else you would do. Porcello's at 22, and then the rest of your choices are Taylor Hearn at 8%, Cahill at 9%. I don't see any like I don't see any like easy spots to get different. So I have no problem going to Caleb Smith now. There's no alternative.
Right. There really isn't. It's funny too because the Phillies have the third highest total on the entire slate.
Yeah.
But Caleb Smith, like, okay, if you look at, let's just do this. Let's look at the guys that are priced further down. Or no, you know what? Let's just go below Nola. Marco Gonzalez, Rick Porcello, Trevor Cahill, Caleb Smith, Jordan Zimmerman, and Taylor Hearn. There's no question which one of them has, significantly more strikeout upside than the rest of those names.
Yeah, Caleb Smith just
Taylor
has a
Hearn.
rough matchup. Like he just happens to be facing a good hitting team.
Right.
But
and I kind of like the Phillies,
he's a really
too.
good pitcher.
I like the Phillies too.
So do I. They are my number one stack on FanDuel and number 2 on DraftKings as of right now.
Yeah, this is one where I'm happy to go both ways. I really am. What I just wanted to pull up to see when the last time we had updated.
You pull that up, and I'm going to sneak my dog out of the office and make him think that something's happening, but it's not.
That sounds good. All right, go for it. We got our updated ownership 58 minutes ago, so I'm curious to know where we were from this morning to where we are now, because Miami bats actually were projected to get a decent amount of ownership, which surprised me. And now we can see how that lines up with earlier in the day. So is Granderson still like, okay, he's still at 14%. These guys
way more than that on FanDuel too. 20.
Yeah. That's something else, man. Like, these guys are getting ownership against Aaron Nola. I know they're cheap, but still.
I'm going to get to Granderson. It's really hard not to lead off spot 2,400. I'll probably end up getting to more Marlins than I want to just because of Nola's ownership too. It's a really scary spot. It's mostly just going to be Granderson, Prado, Brian Anderson, Neil Walker. I don't want to go any further down than that.
God, Prado's so bad.
He really is. He's an old Brave, so I tend to cut him some slack.
When is the last time he homered?
I don't know. I assume Clinton was in office.
Yeah. Wait, you knew Clinton was the president?
Yeah, man. He's my dude.
I'm kidding.
Look, if I'm going to know anything.
Oh, God, he homered this year already. Last year, he homered once in 209 plate appearances.
That's not a lot of home runs.
Oh, you don't say. Yeah, he's got 4 home runs since 2017. 400 plate appearances. So you're not going to... He's probably going to double dong tonight. Wouldn't that be something? But you're basically just saying these guys are dirt cheap and Nola's super popular. Granderson does make some sense. He's $7 on Yahoo. He's minimum salary on Yahoo. Yeah.
It's a fantastic. I mean, he's 40% owned. He should be a staple of a cash lineup.
Right. And Nola does still give up some power. Yeah. Neil Walker, $7. I mean, these guys are really, really cheap.
Yeah, they're not hard to get to today. That's for sure.
No. So I get it. I can't say I'm enthusiastic about it, but I do understand that Prado's also $7. So on Yahoo, Granderson, Prado, and Walker, the 1, 2, and 4 hitters are all minimum salary. That's insane, dude.
It's, I mean, they don't have anybody more expensive than $13. You could roster this whole damn team.
Yep. You're talking about Brian Anderson?
Yeah. Only him and Alfaro are above 10. I've never seen that.
It does. No, even with some of the worst teams. I'm curious. I'm just plugging it in now. I'm plugging in Prado. I'm plugging in Granderson. Going to plug me in some Neil Walker. Maybe some Anderson here. And who else? Who else? We need one more. Who's our number 5? I guess it would have to be Starling Castro. Oh, you know what? You can't even play Neil Walker and Prado together.
No, you cannot.
But point is here, I don't want to spend too much time on the Marlins because that'll just piss people off, and understandably so. You could play Garrett Cole and Trevor Bauer, and your life would still be pretty easy because of how ridiculously cheap they are. What Phillies do you like?
McCutchen, I like every day more than most people, I would imagine, although he's pretty popular on FanDuel. Real Muto, Harper, Hoskins, like that 1, 2, 3, 4 is a very appealing group of guys. Franco looks really good. I like him more on FanDuel than I do on any other site. That's probably it. Sean Rodriguez isn't on FanDuel, so that's irrelevant. I mean, for 2,900, you can do worse for a second baseman on DK. It's all kind of tricky. Like, I like the Phillies, and I'm going to have a lot of the Phillies, but I'm certainly not happy about it because I think Caleb Smith's good. This is a really weird game.
Yeah, it is. It is. Look, we'll move on, but really what it comes down to, Phillies and Nola are the priorities.
Yes.
And really Nola is the priority. Oh, Balsa Hardy said the Prado homer happened yesterday. Okay, perfect.
So he's on a heater, man.
Perfect. Yeah, he's on a run. And then, so Nola and then Phillies, because I do still have a lot of respect for Caleb Smith. And then Caleb Smith. And then, and then say that like 15. What movie is that from, Josh?
Dude, Where's My Car?
Okay. Not bad. I forgot. You're not Adam. You actually do see some movies.
No, and then.
What?
No, and then.
Yeah. No, and then. And then the Marlins. Bats.
I rewatched that relatively recently, within the last year.
It
doesn't hold up very well.
Super stupid, but
real bad.
Enjoyable.
It's real bad.
It is. Boston and Detroit. Rick Porcello, Jordan Zimmerman. Long discussion this morning about it. Basically asking myself how Porcello could be so popular even on a slate like this. Well, not much has changed. He is still 22% projected ownership on DraftKings, 22%, 24% on Yahoo. Yep, that's right. Rick Porcello, even 16% on a single pitcher site like FanDuel. For a 4-run total here for the Detroit Tigers. It's now tied with the Yankees against Cahill, but he is a slate. Oh, actually, Nola's the biggest favorite, 199. Minus 197 on the money line for Porcello. So he's got that going for him against Zimmerman.
I don't know why you hate him so much today.
I just hate him so much all the time, actually.
Okay, that helps. Now, like, he's a solid starter on a day where he's a massive favorite against a team with very little in the form of like legitimate major league hitters. And a lot of these dudes strike out frequently, I guess would be the best way to say it. All signs are pointing to like him being an above average play. I'm honestly surprised that he's not owned more.
Oh, stop it.
I'm not kidding. There's only 10 pitchers. I mean, we got to divvy up 200% somehow.
I guess, but I mean, dude. Yeah, I guess. And I suppose I'm going a little bit too hard on Rick Porcello, but at the same time, I just think that, all right, Trevor Cahill's not very good. I totally understand that. And never you're not going to catch me saying that he is.
I think
But
we're about to catch you saying that he is.
I don't. A third of the ownership is why I'm very much willing to go elsewhere. Oh, and by the way, for anybody that missed the strategy show today, I let Josh take his Jordan Lyles victory lap. Yes, rub mud in my own face for that one. Didn't go well. The Ketel Marte home run furthered along that pain. So, well aware of it. In case anybody was thinking or wanting to talk about that. And
Dude, no one's ever going to talk about that because it benefits me in a mild way.
That's true. That's true. The thread on Twitter was also pretty enjoyable.
That was fun for me.
Look, I get the Porcello thing. I just think there are a couple guys that are still way below him in projected ownership that probably shouldn't be because they're all just not very good but have decent matchups. So that's pretty much it. I mean, you think about this. Cahill and Porcello have the same implied total against them tonight. Exact same. 4 runs even.
Yeah.
One of them is a heavier favorite, understood. But one of them also has a better park. I could throw that. Look, and Cahill, from a strikeout standpoint, actually has more upside there. So there are pros and cons for both of them. Lots of cons for sure. But that's why, though, I think ultimately they're more even than you would think. But I know you like him. What is your right now? What ownership are you looking at on Porcello?
I don't have any crunches run right now, so I can only sort of tell you where people rank relative to each other.
And earlier in the day, you were around 14%.
Yeah, it was about half. So Porcello is my third ranked pitcher on DraftKings. Cole and Nola are on their own tier. Porcello caps off the next group of people. I would guess, just looking at the way ownership shakes out on DraftKings, that I will stick around where I was, somewhere in that 15-ish % range. And really, the only reason that it's not more is the fact that Cole and Nola are so far outpacing the field for me.
Right. All right. What about?
I don't want to say that I'm a big fan because I think that would be like slightly overstating it. But if with one less guy, I would probably have like 40+% of Porcello today.
Fair enough. And by the way, just so we're like, he does grade out well for me against the rest of these pitchers. But he's still Rick Porcello. I don't know, man.
I did just run a FanDuel crunch while we were sitting here. So at the very least, I'll have that info.
All right.
We have more lineups right now than I kind of expected to have. And our ownership got updated recently, so I don't mind running crunches in those scenarios.
Yeah. Candelario, Castellanos, Cabrera, Goodrum, Brandon Dixon, Gordon Beckham, Josh Harrison, John Hicks, Jacoby Jones. Yeah, I mean, look, it's not exactly a murderer's row of hitters here for Detroit either. No, I'm not saying that.
No,
I love Boston.
Skid row of Detroit hitters.
What's that?
It's like a skid row of these guys.
Obviously Boston has the highest total, and I think rightfully so. Just like Tyson Ross has that brutal fastball right now, Jordan Zimmerman's has been beat up pretty bad, particularly by righties over the past couple of seasons for a lot of power. And you got some of the best fastball hitters in the league like Betts, Martinez, Bogarts. What do you think here of Boston, assuming this is your favorite team as well, or one of them?
Yeah, I mean, they grade out in a fantastic way here. They're the chalk, as they should be. And if I'm playing cash, I certainly am loading up on as much Boston as I can get. They're not even that like prohibitive from a cost perspective. It's really hard for me to say that there's not I would play everybody. I don't need a lot of Sandy Leone and FanDuel because that's not really how this works. But
yeah,
everybody is in play. Get to whatever you need. They're the best offense on the slate. They get to face Jordan Zimmerman, who sucks. I wish that I had some sort of like specific hot take, but you don't need it. These guys are just really good. Their opposing pitcher is really bad, and they have the highest implied run total on the slate.
Yeah, you'd be wasting time trying to think of hot takes here for Boston bats.
Yeah, they're a fantastic cash option.
Do you have interest in Detroit bats?
So I do. And And this is sort of what would get me to sort of be more on your side with regards to Porcello. He's getting ownership, and I think he's like a functional pitcher, projects with a 416 FIP from Steamer, but that's not something that I'm afraid to like get on the other side of. Pricing is pretty decent here, particularly on FanDuel. So Candelario, Castellanos, Cabrera, Goodrum, Dixon. I'm going to have that stack, and I'm happy to go to him a little bit on DraftKings just as leverage on the Porcello ownership, so long as he's staying north of 20. I don't mind using the top of the Tiger stack. They're not great, but a 4-run implied total is certainly better than like, I mean, they're basically average for everybody else. It's the Mariners and Red Sox on one tier, a huge group of everybody else on another one. The Marlins clearly at the bottom, and the Indians looking like the Marlins from a run perspective, but that's just because they've got Garrett Cole on the other side.
Right. Exactly.
There's actually talent on the Indians team. It's just masked by like a fantastic pitching matchup.
All right, let's move on. Fantastic. Well, you didn't say fantastic pitcher, so all right, that's fair enough.
No, wait, what do you think I just said?
You said a fantastic pitching matchup. I know.
Oh, I meant like Astros Indians.
Oh! You said okay. I thought you
yeah,
meant,
I was just closing off the Astros Indians point.
Got you. I thought you meant Porcello, meaning like, do you think they're okay, but the matchup is better for the pitcher?
No, like this is definitely a spot where I think it's okay to get some leverage against pitching ownership.
All right, Houston and Cleveland.
Here it is.
Garrett Cole, Trevor Bauer. We had a long discussion about this morning, and we'll tie up any loose ends right here on the deeper dive. The way we have it right now, ownership projections for Garrett Cole, second highest on DraftKings behind Nola. That makes sense to me. Nola at 50. Actually, Nola, honestly, I'd say should probably be higher than that. My guess is that some people will still be worried that maybe he isn't right. But Cole at 45. And then Bauer at 17. He's come up a little bit, Josh, but, still a third of that Garrett Cole ownership. It's two really, really good pitchers, and one of them does have a better matchup against Cleveland, but Lindor is back, and the truth is there aren't that many strikeouts here, right? Like Lindor, Ramirez, Santana, Kipnis, those four alone don't strike out at all. You got a couple that will, but also a large number that won't. And then Houston on the other side, since the start of last season, has the lowest strikeout rate in the entire league against right-handed pitchers.
It's a really difficult matchup for Trevor Bauer. Ignoring his talent as a pitcher, they have 6 guys in their lineup that have projected K rates of 16% or below. They swapped out White for Tony Kemp. Tony Kemp doesn't strike out. So it actually became a worse strikeout matchup than what we were talking about before. Now, granted, we're talking about an 8-9 hitter. So like it's incremental, but it is a swap out of a guy that strikes out for a guy that doesn't again. So I see this is one of those spots where I see Trevor Bauer's upside being limited. Now he can come out here and spin a gem in K14 and make me look stupid. And then I'll just be like, yeah, okay, that's baseball. And Trevor Bauer is one of the 5 best pitchers on the planet. I get that completely, but I can't look at this game and think anything other than Garrett Cole's in a much, much better spot than Trevor Bauer is.
That works. All right. And I mean, okay, so let's do this. I do want to ask you this question.
Okay.
So
Ramirez, I just ran a crunch, by the way, for DK, so I'm going to have some exposures in a second, but go on.
Okay. So we have Ramirez, Lindor, Santana, Kipnis, Greg Allen. All of them in the lineup today, right?
Yes.
K rates against righties, 12.8, 15.3, 15.7, 17.2, 18.9. Now, Leonis Martin, 21.9%. Okay, so, right around league average there, fine. Doesn't really matter. Cargo, 23.6. Yeah, that's perfectly fine. We'll take that. And then you have Bowers and Perez, who Powers around 25, Perez through the roof. He strikes out a ton.
Yeah.
So you do have 5 guys that don't strike out a lot at all. Three of them that don't strike out at all. 2 of them that do a very good job of not striking out, and then a few that are in the middle, and then 1 that strikes out a ton. So that looks not great. But then if you take the Astros and you look at their K rates, again, I'm going back to the start of last season, then you have Brantley 8%, Gurriel 11%. Gurriel's in the lineup today, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
11%. Bregman 12. Altuve 14. Springer 18. Even a guy like Tyler White, he's not in the lineup today, but even he is low. Josh Reddick, 14%. So yeah, here are your strikeouts. This is where you get your strikeouts. Now, it's very similar to in the Indians, just a little bit worse for Bauer. You get your strikeouts with Chirinos, because Chirinos is at 34%.
Yep.
And that's it. Even Tony Kemp is at 13%, Josh.
Yeah, that was the switch that caught my eye. It brought down Bauer's chances of hitting his target score by like 0.5% or something along those lines.
I think it's the worst possible lineup.
By like a half point.
Yeah, I think it's an even worse possible lineup you could think of. You have
17% aggregate K rate is one of the lowest that I've seen so far this
crazy
year. And
low.
like the Indians for me are at like 21%. It's just like, yeah, that's an average matchup.
Yeah, Reddick, Altuve, Kemp, Bregman, Gurriel, and Brantley. Get this. This is insane. Are all at 14% or lower. Dude, that's nuts. That's really crazy.
So that's never striking out, essentially.
Right.
I mean, there are levels. There's Astudillo, and then there's everybody else, and like they're all in that everybody else category of guys that don't strike out.
Exactly. It really makes it tough for Bauer. And you know that I was higher on Bauer. People are going to be like, dude, what? Tony Kemp is the reason? No, I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that you don't have anything in this lineup outside of Chirinos that's semi-favorable.
Right. Like, it doesn't mean that Trevor Bauer can't have a good game.
He's
pitching.
elite. Of course he can.
But if you're looking for that GPP winning, I broke the slate type stuff, this is going to be a tough sell. It's easier on the opposite side. By the way, I got, buckle up, 73% Cole, 89% Nola, and drumroll, a little bit higher than I thought it was going to be, 31% Rick Porcello.
All right, man. This should be fun. This should be enjoyable.
This should be something. I'll tell you what, man. I am going to have a fun night. Wife is in Boston right now. I got nothing to do but sit around and watch baseball, which will probably make me fall asleep by 7:05.
You know, if Marisnik was in the lineup, not even kidding, and you had Chirinos too, that's probably 4 combined, maybe 5 combined strikeouts for Bauer right there.
Yeah.
But like he's going to need to strike out Chirinos 3 times. And Chirinos is batting at the bottom of the order anyway. So, yeah, that's rough. Very high in Garrett Cole, as you mentioned. And another thing to add, Garrett Cole, the one thing he's not great at is holding runners. So he's already allowed 4 this season and only 5 starts. If you are looking to be different and you wanted to target players from the Indians because Cole will be very popular, I do think one way to go about this would be to target guys that have speed on the base paths like Lindor and Ramirez, who are already the 2 best hitters on this team. So it's a win-win situation.
Yeah, I actually got to some Lindor, Ramirez, Cargo, and Kipnis on FanDuel, which surprised me a little bit. I mean, Lindor and Ramirez doesn't surprise me at all. They're good. Getting to Cargo and a little bit of Kipnis is kind of weird. I've been a big Jason Kipnis guy for, I don't know, way too long. I used to get him a lot in OOTP. So like, I always like to have, quality left-handed bats since they generally see more right-handed pitching. So I was a big platoon guy.
Right.
And Kipnis was always like my second base target.
And he used to hit at the top of the order too.
Yeah. So now, I've got quite a bit of Kipnis. I mean, this is going to change pretty dramatically as we move on, but yeah, I am hitching my wagon to that Cole, Nola, Porcello trio. Whew.
Well, that should be enjoyable. We'll see how it goes. I mean,
There's
two of
no
those.
way that's enjoyable. I mean, now that one of those dudes is going to take a absolute thumping.
If Nola shits himself against the Marlins, that's going to be an issue. Like that, man, that'll be something. Let me tell you. Maybe you get some maybe you have to get a little Marlins exposure in there just in case Nola isn't right. Because the only indication that he's right is that he threw like 3 really good innings at Coors. That's it.
That's all you need, right?
Well, I still love it. I still love the guy tonight. I'm just saying it's not, we're not like 3 starts of good performance yet. So we'll see. Got 2 games to go here. Before we do, I want to let you know that Yahoo Sports, sponsor of the Deeper Dive, we're going to drop a link into the chat. If you haven't signed up yet, go ahead and do that. If you haven't signed up on Yahoo, you do it through us, and you can use the promo code AWESOMO. Get up to $30 in Yahoo Sports rewards points. What are they, Josh?
They are YSRPs.
Solid old YSRPs. Everyone likes the YSRPs. You have the 10K guaranteed tonight, 2K to first. Still about, 300 entries to go here? Yeah, right around that. $10 entry and 12% management fee, lower than most, I'll tell you that much. And some of the contests run on Yahoo have none at all. So head over there, yahoo.com, sports.yahoo.com, or use the link that we put in chat, and then you don't have to do any typing whatsoever. Yahoo.com, sponsor the Deeper Dive. Oh, speaking of Deeper Dive, if you wanted to check out our premium content at awesomeo.com, and you hear us referencing the ownership projections and the player projections and the deep dive articles and, all of our great PGA, NASCAR, MMA content, and so much more, or Fantasy Cruncher, which we have an add-on for, and the Lineup Builder, and Awesomeo himself, Alex Baker, his content, all of his rankings, and everything he posts every day. Well, you can get it, and you can get 50% off your first month. And all you have to do is use the promo code DEEPERDIVE. One word, Deeper Dive, when you sign up. Click that sign up button on the top left of the home screen or the homepage at awesomeo.com. Use the promo code Deeper Dive, one word. 50% off your first month, and come say what's up in our premium Slack chat when you do. All right.
So tomorrow when we talk about this, I think YSRP is going to stand for something different.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Yesterday's superstar, Rick Porcello. I'm too good at this shit, man.
Woo! Not bad. Not bad. So you saw RP, thought Rick Porcello, and thought, I got to think of something for the Y and the S, right?
I started thinking about this from the time you prompted me about it to start, and I couldn't figure it out. I was trying to think about sleeping on Rick Porcello, and then I had to put on in there. It was a lot, and then I realized I should just save this for tomorrow, and then I couldn't. It was eating me alive inside.
Yeah, you really should have saved it.
I couldn't.
Well, you know what? You shouldn't have saved it, because if it doesn't go well, the joke is spoiled.
Yeah, we'll pull out the soundbite for tomorrow just in case.
The soundbite would be spoiled, and you'd have nothing to fall back on. So I like it. It's probably yesterday's star, Rick Porcello.
Oh, wait, it's superstar, man.
Well, superstar's one word, right? All right. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. That's pretty solid. I got to hand it to you. Let's close this out, Josh. We got 2 games to go. Angels, New York Yankees, Masahiro Tanaka and Trevor Cahill. You've got a 4-run total for the Yankees here. And against Masahiro Tanaka, it is a 3-point. No. Yeah. Where are we at here? How did I lose it? It's 4 and then 4.1 for the Angels. So what do you have here?
Sorry, I was checking the stream on my phone to make sure it was still clear. What do I have here? I have no Trevor Cahill.
Right, because you have 100% Nola Cahill or Nola Porcello.
Yeah. Well, I have no Trevor Cahill, and that has nothing to do with those guys.
I understand.
I have no Masahiro Tanaka. Knocked my lighter over. I like the Angels at the top of the order a little bit on DK. Not much interest on FanDuel or Yahoo outside of, Trout. And I've got a little bit at the top of the Yankees order, and that's mostly 1 to 5. And I am pretty significantly under the field on the Yankees on FanDuel right now. So this game is kind of just off my radar.
All right. I mean, I don't think that's crazy either. I do think Cahill is a little bit more appealing than you do, but that's really it. Like outside of that, I don't really have much here whatsoever. Look, the only difference between you and me, because look, as much as I talk shit on Porcello, I get it. I totally understand why he would be rostered. I just don't think Cahill is that far behind him. That's all. And neither does Vegas, by the way. So I at least have them with me here. And Cahill's getting a decent amount of Ks against righties. I want to see what this lineup looks like for the Yankees. That could change my opinion quite a bit. And I don't believe we have one yet. You don't have one, right?
No. Nothing for Yankees, Angels, nothing for Rangers, Mariners.
I'll just say this. The more righties for the Yankees today, the more I would like Cahill. Batters, are there any batters? Actually, and let me say this. The Cahill does have some home run issues. Like, he will give up home runs. If you have no interest in Cahill or you're MMEing, he has already allowed 8 long balls on the season. Cahill does give up power. I'm not totally against some of these Yankee bats either. It just depends, where they rank. They're not going to rank towards the top of your list when Judge and Stanton and Didi and Hicks and Andujar are all out, and even Greg Bird. But they're not expensive either. At least most of them are pretty damn cheap here. So,
I mean, Gary Sanchez looks fantastic, as long as he's not getting golden sombreros.
Yeah, right. Like Mike Ford is $3,500 on DraftKings. He bats left-handed, and didn't he bat 5th yesterday?
I have no idea. I barely know that he's hitting 8th today.
He was hitting 6th. Sorry. Yeah, he was batting 6th. So, I think you could do worse than that. What are you? I know you said you don't have much here at all, but are there any bats you want to touch on other than Sanchez?
I mean, LeMahieu in the leadoff spot, if that holds, second, third base eligibility, 3,300. That's just like criminally underpriced. He should be really easy to fit into a cash lineup, and I have no problem there. That's pretty much it. Like, no one's really breaking free. I mean, Justin Bour, a $7 first baseman on Yahoo, is perennially underpriced. That's not the right usage of that word, but whatever. You guys know what I mean.
It's not even cool. Well, if you're saying every year he's underpriced, then
yeah, exactly. That's what I'm trying to say, man. That's what I was trying to say.
All right, hey, there you go.
Justin Bour is underpriced every year.
Spot on, dude. Spot on.
My brain's fried, man. I got another hour and 15 minutes of this.
Actually, yeah, right. I guess that would be annually overpriced.
Yeah, what
perennials? What kind of like a flower?
Yeah, I was trying to think of like trees and shit.
It's like seasonal, right?
I don't know.
It's a plant that
can't get these goods anywhere else.
It's a plant that grows the next year. That doesn't just do 1 year. I know that.
Yeah, so that I mean, then that's a perfect comparison.
Right. It's horrible, actually. But we'll go with it. I use the term perennially all the time for like baseball and basketball too. But perennially overpriced, it's like, oh, Justin Bour's always too cheap. He is never not too cheap. Yeah. Let's get to the last game. Seattle and Texas. Marco Gonzalez at home. 3
Hey, one quick Deeper Dive is the promo code if you want to get these hot takes in our premium Slack.
There you have it.
Off.
There you have it. You can learn new words too.
Yeah.
Or learn how to use old words in new ways. Josh has got you.
We're remixing the English language on the fly.
That's right. 3.9 total. Third lowest on the slate for Texas. And then on the other side of this one, Taylor Hearn, 4.7 total for Seattle. Like, I honestly think Marco Gonzalez could go 7 scoreless. I just don't know if he'll. I don't know what the strikeouts are going to look like here is kind of the concern. And I would have really liked to have seen what the Rangers lineup looked like, because they've run a number of different lineups out against lefties recently, and they've only faced like 2 lefties over the past 10 days.
Yeah, I actually got to a couple shares of Marco Gonzalez.
Makes sense to me.
3% as of right now. That's, marginal, and he's at 16, but
you don't have none of him.
Right. Yeah, it's not a straight zero.
Yeah.
He grades out fine. Like, he on a different slate, again, like he would be in the mix, but 8,400 is just a really tough sell for me when Aaron Nola is $700 more expensive than him, because they are not on the same planet today.
No, you have a perennial amount of Gonzalez today, I'd say.
Well played, sir. Well played.
All right. But some of these guys on the Rangers do have pretty high K rates, man. Like, I want to know who's in the damn lineup is the thing.
Same for the Mariners. I have them both at 23% K rates for today.
Like, but do you have Matheson or kind of Felifa?
Mathis.
Yeah, see? Like, that's a big difference. One of them's at 30% almost. The other's at 10%.
Yeah, that little bit of a swing there.
Right. Like, does Danny Santana maybe get the start over, whoever? Like, it's tough to say.
This line has moved a lot since this morning.
In favor of Gonzalez?
Gonzalez opened at minus 163 at Pinnacle. He's now minus 144.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. But the total didn't move. I don't believe the total moved for Texas.
A little bit, but not much.
From what, like
it was 9 plus 104. Now it's 8.5 minus 113. So it's been in like this.
No, the Rangers total.
Right. What are we?
Okay.
What am I not saying here?
No, you're all right. You're all right. I see. Yeah, I was saying that the implied total for the Rangers. You just read it off as the actual total of the game instead of the Rangers total.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't move with any sort of gusto that much.
Right, so it doesn't exactly. You're just saying that. Yeah, okay, wouldn't make a difference. Well, anyway, I don't think Gonzalez is the craziest play, but to me it does matter what lineup we get for the Rangers. Specific, like if Mathis is in over kind of relief, that's a pretty big deal just for one batter, because Gonzalez already doesn't get a lot of strikeouts. So just pay attention. I mean, if Gallo's in the lineup against lefties, he's got a 41% K rate against same-handed.
There's a chance that Marco Gonzalez looks
really good.
Way better.
Yes, exactly. It all depends. But if Gallo's out,
way worse, actually.
Right. Oh yeah, for sure. Well, he'd be worse for you because I'm projecting Kiner Felipe. You have Mathis projected it, so that's a little different.
Right.
But like, let's just say Gallo does start and Wisdom's in the lineup and Mathis are all in the lineup. That makes because you're not projecting Gallo in.
No.
Which means that if he's in and Mathis and Wisdom are in, this becomes an unreal strikeout spot for Gonzalez. Not saying he's going to get 10, but it's a lineup with a lot of strikeouts.
Are you projecting Elvis Andrus in?
Yeah.
Okay, because if he's questionable, if he's not in,
oh god, then it's even better.
He doesn't strike out, so like that's a massive change. No matter who fills in for him, it almost has to K more than Andrews.
That's right. He might not be in.
Mariners lineup is out, by the way.
Who?
Mariners lineup just came out.
Okay, I really wanted the Rangers, but you're right. This could flip on its head. Seriously, pay close attention to this Rangers lineup, and just know which guys K and which guys don't.
Yeah, no Jay Bruce in the Mariners lineup.
No JB. All right. Well, I think we pretty much broke down Gonzalez, and that's the way I would say anyone should look at it, because it could change really quickly. What about? I don't assume you're playing Taylor Hearn. So, what do you think of this Seattle team?
They're tricky. I like them. They're a really good hitting team, but they are stupid overpriced. It is insanity. So it all depends which site you're playing on, because they're clearly a nice option. They project as like an above average hitting team in this spot. They got a date with a lefty who's, at best, not good.
Yeah.
but you're getting Mitch Haniger at 5,600.
It's crazy. Yeah.
Dan Vogelbach has dropped a spot in this projected lineup. He is 5,100. So it's not like I don't like Edwin Encarnacion. I think Mitch Haniger is really good, but I mean, you got to spend a lot of cash. And on a day where Cole and Nola are as popular as they are, there's not a lot of that going around. And there's no like 4K pitcher to jam in.
No, they're super pricey on Yahoo too.
Yeah. They're not that bad on FanDuel, so they're a team that I am getting to.
Okay.
Nothing too crazy, but yeah, they're like massively overpriced.
Yeah. On Yahoo, Haniger is the second most expensive outfielder behind Trout. Same as JD Martinez, more expensive than Mookie Betts by $3, which is actually a lot. Yeah. Bryce Harper, all of those guys. Edwin Encarnacion is the second most expensive first baseman behind Rhys Hoskins. D. Gordon's the second most expensive second baseman. Okay. Ryan Healy is the third most expensive third baseman. Tim Beckham, second most expensive outfielder. So there you go. That's pretty significant. And Domingo
they have my third highest ceiling, and they are second from the bottom from a value perspective. That's how overpriced they are.
I totally get it. Oh, and is Narvaez in the lineup?
Yes.
He's the most expensive catcher.
4,500.
Yeah. Wait, on DraftKings he is?
Yeah.
Jeez. He's 19 on Yahoo. So, yeah, he's the same price on Yahoo as, Michael Brantley.
Did DraftKings screw up here and just think that this game was in Texas?
I don't know. It really feels like it.
Because they are priced like this game has a 10.5 run total.
Yeah, because you know what else? Gallo's expensive. Really, I guess he always is. Yeah, I don't know. I was looking at that on Yahoo as well. Elvis Andrus is the most expensive shortstop. He's more expensive than Lindor, Bogarts, Correa, Gleyber Torres. That doesn't make sense. That's crazy.
He's the same price as Edwin Encarnacion in this game.
Yeah. Maybe they did think. I don't know. That's wild.
Yeah, was this series supposed to be in Texas on paper? And they were like, oh, we got to flip-flop this one and that one because Tim McGraw's coming to town or something.
I don't know. Dude, I wish I knew. But I don't.
It's.
I don't know. But
Edwin Encarnacion looks good regardless of his price.
He does.
And Haniger is tolerable at 5,600 simply because he's leading off. I don't love that he's leading off. I'd prefer that he was actually hitting third or fourth, but there's a lot of extra plate appearances there potentially for him. So
Taylor Hearn's been solid in the way of strikeouts. He just walks a ton of batters and gives up a lot of fly balls. It's not a great park though. So look, I don't hate the Mariners. I just don't have much interest in paying a premium. Miles says they were this expensive because Sampson was supposed to start. Yeah, but it's still Hearns. It's still a guy that's never pitched at the major league level, dude.
Yeah, they didn't swap in Nolan Ryan here.
No.
To be fair, super overrated.
No,
we don't have time for this.
And let me do you one better, though. Not only is it Hearns, but now it's a lefty, and you've got all of these righty bats with the platoon advantage. So they would be more expensive against Hearn.
Yeah, for sure. I just don't get it.
It just makes him a lot less.
Accidentally left a multiplier on there or something.
Perennially less appealing on DraftKings and Yahoo. Outside of that, I could see it on FanDuel though. FanDuel does actually make sense. God, Haniger is one of the most expensive players everywhere though. Pretty incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, he's really good. 120 weighted runs created plus, just under a 200 ISO, leading off. Yeah, he probably should be really expensive.
Anything else in this game? We'll hit our top stacks and head out for the day.
Yeah, Rangers bats. I think DeShields is he's a baseball player.
Sound like JD from the Howard Stern show.
That's how I felt right there. It's hard for me to like really sell you on him,
whatever.
but he's a cheap leadoff option. And he hits right-handed and Marco Gonzalez throws left-handed. Like, that's the best that I can do here. There's not much to like on this Rangers
Yeah,
offense.
and Gonzalez doesn't give up much power. He really doesn't.
90. Well, maybe that's good for DeShields then, because he doesn't have any. 90 weighted runs created plus in the aggregate. That's pretty poor. Not a great run total. No one really getting a lot of ownership. We'll see what this lineup looks like if Andrews isn't in it. But I mean, their two best hitters are Nomar Mazar and Shin-Soo Choo, and both of them are dreadful against left-handed pitching. So not a lot going well for them.
If Andrews and Kiner Falefa are out, I'm just saying this one more time, and Mathis is in, and then, no, you know what they could do? You could probably move like Cabrera to shortstop or something. I don't know. There's what. And
keep an eye on. No, D. Gordon's price is so stupid. I was going to say, if Kiner Falefa is catching, like, pay attention to guys from Seattle that can steal, because he gives up steals like it's a job of his.
Wait, no. Kiner Falefa?
Yeah, doesn't he give up a ton of steals?
I'm pretty sure that at the minor league level, he like never gave up any steals.
Am I wrong? Who am I thinking of?
I might be.
Who's been catching recently that just gets like
Narvaez is the worst. He's terrible. He gave up the second most stolen bases last year behind Jonathan Lucroy. Unless like Kiner Falefa came into the majors and was just amazing. Let me see here. Let me pull it up. I got it right here. You might be right. Sometimes it's easy to forget this stuff.
There is someone I'm thinking of that has been catching this season that has given up like an extraordinary amount of stolen bases. But he doesn't catch like super frequently.
All right.
You'll probably get to this before I do.
No, because it sent me to the wrong fucking thing. These sites change their shit when I'm used to. Oh, here we go. Okay, here we go. Thank you. So, last year, let me pull up non-qualified.
Check this year if you can.
All right. Well, I'll do last year.
Because I think it's like a really aggressive percentage.
I'll do last year first and then this one. So, Kiner Falefa, pretty sure he's really good, but
you might be right. I'm trying to figure out who I'm thinking of.
Okay, so last year he caught 50% of runners, which is good.
Why? Where's advanced search? Fuck.
Actually, no. No, he might have actually. Let's see.
Is there a way for you to just see?
It looks like no. I think you were right that last year he allowed a lot, which is so weird because I remember Adam and I looked it up on the deeper dive, and it was like, wow, how did he allow no stolen bases whatsoever in the minors? So what do you want me to look up this year?
Yeah, like who's given up the most stolen bases this year?
Yep. So the most stolen bases allowed this year has been Mejia.
I will look this up when we're done and try to figure out who in the world I'm talking about.
We'll have to do it off. This site is so much different than it used to be, and every time I go to do it, it just screws with me. So, we'll pull it up and figure it out. But no, it's definitely this whole thing's wrong. Screw this nonsense. All right. Anyway,
I'll get to it at some point in time.
I'll say this much though: DeShields is one of those guys that runs anyway. Like he always just runs no matter what. So you at least have that working for you.
Very true.
All right, top stacks, Josh.
Yeah. So on FanDuel, I would say Red Sox, Phillies, and then I've got this group of Tigers, Marlins, Angels, Indians all jammed together. On DraftKings, Red Sox, Phillies, then Angels and Indians. And on Yahoo, Red Sox, obviously, Marlins, because everybody's essentially free, Indians, and then Phillies.
Okay. So here I have it, by the way. It looks
It's
like
Higashioka is who I'm thinking of.
who?
That Higashioka.
For Boston? Was it Boston?
Wait, what are you saying?
You're talking about a player, right?
Yeah, Kyle Higashioka for the Yankees.
Oh, Yankees, right.
Yeah,
right.
that is who I'm talking about. He's not in the majors any longer.
Okay, so that was him.
I knew that it was like a really unique last name.
Yeah, I got you. You know who's just been unbelievably bad? Other than Narvaez, he's one of the worst. Easily one of the worst. Already allowed 12 this season. Lucroy allowed the most last year. He's allowed 14 already this year. He is just absolute garbage. Guess who's allowed the most stolen bases this year?
Higashioka.
That, sir, would be wrong.
Okay.
The answer to that is Josh Phegley.
I don't think that I've typed his name in this year.
I honestly don't think so either. And the funny thing is he was on a team that we stacked them like a week straight every day, and I guess Phegley never ended up in them. He's allowed 16 stolen bases on 19 attempts. That's
remember
insane.
that next time you know he's catching.
Yeah, that's a wild, wild number. Whew.
Yes.
All
I'm just happy we got to that answer.
That's pretty incredible. Top stacks for me, obviously Boston, Philly. I think Caleb Smith is still in play, though, especially with that Porcello ownership.
Yeah.
And then it just goes downhill, right? Like Seattle, you want to say, sure, but they're not an easy stack.
Elvis Andrus in the lineup, as is Mathis.
Okay, so no Kiner Falefa?
Nope.
Okay, well, that's good. Can you read it off before we go?
I can. DeShields, Andrews, Pence, Mazzara, Forsythe, Chu, Cabrera, Wisdom, Mathis.
Okay, so not perfect, but also not terrible. Wisdom and Mathis and Chu and Mazzara all have 25% plus K rates against lefties.
Yeah, it's I mean, I think it's what we thought it was going to be. Yeah. So, or what I had in at least. So,
well, I thought it'd be you were right. I didn't think Mathis would, I didn't think Mathis was going to catch 2 days in a row. I thought Kiner Falefa would actually be in this one. Mathis has been all over the place when it comes to his starts this year. So, he's in there though. So that's good. Anyway, I think that'll do it for us.
It will. Live before lock coming up next.
Coming up next, baby. Enjoy the draft tonight. Have a good night, good luck, and we'll catch you back here. Close out the work week on the Deeper Dive presented by Yahoo Sports. Don't steal my wave, dude. Don't steal my stuff.